morning, Bore da, welcome to Creative Mornings, May. The theme of Creative Mornings globally in May is revival. A wonderful illustration on our marvellous projector by Mario Guzman. It was chosen by our Fort Worth chapter in Texas. And there's a little thing I need to say. Everything old is new again sums up the revivals that bubble up through culture. But are there really no original ideas left? Does it matter? Lots of things from the past are worth saving from obscurity. It's up to you to distill the best of the past and create a better future. Not to mull on there. First off, I'd like to thank our sponsor, Adobe. Adobe give us money, which makes this happen. I use their products all the time, and they're great. Basically, we couldn't do this without Adobe support globally and their support specifically for this chapter. So yeah, double support. Okay, that just leaves me to introduce our guest. Sahar Saki is an artist originally from Iran. She's based now in Cardiff. Her art, well, she's going to describe her art to you, but in a nutshell, it really brings together her Persian heritage, art, calligraphy, words, poetry, together to like make these huge kind of installations and beautiful printing. And it makes these real immersive spaces. Currently, she's doing an exhibition around Wales called Persian Tour.
Yes.
In various locations around Wales, and it looks absolutely beautiful. And I'm sure she's going to talk all about it. But yeah, without further ado, Sahar Saki.
Hello everybody. Hey. Thank you for joining us today, and thank you, Creative Morning, for inviting me. It's such an honor to be here. I'm Sahar, originally from Iran, but I have been living here about 10 years now, and I've got my citizenship, so I'm kind of Welsh. So yeah, I've been struggling with this identity things for years, but probably I would rather to say I'm an international person or artist. I am a multidisciplinary artist. I work with different medium, and I started doing mural about 5 years ago. I used to be a jewelry designer, and then I changed kind of my career. I always loved drawing, but I've never been comfortable drawing small. Like probably the smallest size that I can draw is like A1, like, or A0. Like I remember every time I wanted to draw, like I was going out of the paper, and I had to stick like more paper around the main papers, because it was just like, oh, I can't just do this. And then one of my friends, like, why you are not drawing on the wall? Because it's quite massive. And well, I had like no experiences. So I asked one of my friends to paint her wall in her bedroom. And she kindly accepted, although I had like no experiences. It was about like 5 years ago during the pandemic. I think everyone was going through some changes. I'm like, I wanna shift my career. And I started, from there in that bedroom. And as soon as I started just like drawing like this from here, like my shoulder, I was like, this is right. Just I felt right, because I wasn't moving my hands here. It was here. And somehow I was moving all my body, and I'm into dancing and movement a lot. So there was a link there, and I was like, okay, this is right. So after doing that mural, I was doing more and more. I got more commissions, and I started doing a project because I wanted to engage with people. I just didn't want to go in a bedroom and paint. I wanted to be with people. I've been always, I think, a people person. Like, I like everybody to be and kind of get involved. So I got applied for a grant for a project based. I wanted also to bring stories into my work and poetry. So I got a grant from Art Council of Wales for doing murals around the city. And the project was based on Iranian people living in Wales. So I was like interviewing Persian community, collecting their stories and their life here in Wales. And then based on those stories, going back to the poetry and collecting some poems that kind of link with those stories, and then designing the murals. And we did about 10 murals around the city, mostly poems from Rumi. And I translated some of the poems in Welsh and also English. So that was a good project because I got so many good feedbacks from the people, and just seeing that, oh, okay, there is another language on the wall. It's not just English, you know. But also I learned a lot from the graffiti community. A lot of dramas, if you like some dramas, because it's a very misogynist kind of like community, and they don't used to like seeing a woman painting in the street or just like covering their work. I had this problem just going and painting somewhere, and then I learned, oh, there's like unwritten rules between these people, and I had to learn the rules, and I made friends with some of them, and some of them were like nice, helping me, telling me like what to do, what not to do. Some of them just like very aggressive, sending me like aggressive messages like, why did you cover my work? Like, what do you think of your work? Your work is shit. And I'm like, okay, I'm learning. And also learning that painting in the street is not just about, you know, knowing how to use the brush. It's not about that. You need other skills. You need to know how to communicate. And also, it's like a performance, painting in the street. Even like what to wear, you know? And yeah, and be confident, and also like how to talk with people. People are curious. Some people just like asking you questions. Some people just like want to know the story behind that. So I got different skill, and I think my kind of, you know, communications skill also really improved. Like I was just like, sometimes I was like hanging out with this like guy. I was like soaring like all the time, and I was kind of a really like tidy artist at that time. I'm not anymore. And I was just like, yeah, hang out with this guy and like sitting in the street with the spray on the floor. And I'm like, this is great, you know? Like, so yeah, after that project, there was a movement happening in Iran, Woman Life Freedom, about 3 years ago. I don't know if you heard of it. But yeah, the government and the woman just like started doing this movement because of hijab, and the government killed so many people. And we had a lot of protests here. I was attending in the protests, but I felt like I needed to do something. It's like my art has to have a purpose. Like, so I started running a festival called Woman Life Freedom Festival, a mural festival, and we did a fundraising. So the community just helped to raise money. And we were able to buy the paints and the materials, and also paying artists a little bit. And interestingly, most of the artists who were helping me were like Welsh artists, which was really nice. And yeah, that was also great, like knowing more people in the community. And after that, I was like, okay, I wanted to do something that kind of blend all the stuff that I like. I'm into poetry, I am into dancing, and I am into, visual art and painting and Persian calligraphy and all of that. And out of the sudden, Mission Gallery, you might have heard of them in Swansea, they are a great gallery. They asked me to do a project called Off the Wall. And they wanted to paint the whole gallery instead of just like putting canvas on the wall. They wanted the whole gallery to be a piece of art. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. And it was a collaboration between me and Sue Williams. She's a great, great painter and artist. At the first, I was a little bit like nervous. It was like, oh, Sue is great. Why they ask me? I'm just like painting in the street with this like, graffiti artist. Why they ask me? But yeah, and I went there, and this is the Mission Gallery. It's a really old building. It's an old church with high ceiling. It's like massive. And I was so excited. Like my inner child just like came. I was like, oh, I can paint everywhere. And I asked them, so if I can paint the ceiling and the floor and everywhere, like the plan was just the wall. And they said, no, you can't paint the ceiling because it's an old, really old building, old church, but you can paint the floor. So they agreed, and I was like, okay, it's gonna be like so fun. It's like I was just like splashing paint on the floor, on the wall, and playing music and dancing in the space. I was like moving my brush while I was dancing. So it was like great, and I learned again that it's so different with painting a wall in the street. Painting a space is so different, although I'm still like moving my body quite a lot, but it's a communication between me and a space, and I don't like to plan. I rarely plan what I want to do, or I rarely do sketches. I like to be surprised a little bit by myself as well, and it's more fun. So I was just like going to the space. I mean, I was choosing the poems, but I was going to the space and I was making a mark, then going back, and the space would just tell me what to do next. What is the next, stroke? What is even the next color? So I love that communication, because as if like the space was alive, And so yeah, we did that project. Like 3 days, we paint the whole gallery. And I was like, oh, this is what I want to do, more of that. And then I came with this idea of Persian Tour. I just thought, okay, I can put together poetry, calligraphy, dancing, and all of this to make an immersive space. And I talked with Art Council of Wales, and they liked the idea. So they funded the project, and the Persian Tour is 4 galleries around Wales. So I started in Lanternam Grange, Combran, and then we went to Swansea. This is a picture from Swansea, Elysium Gallery. And then the next one would be in Narberth, Span Art. And then the last one will be in Cardiff in September. So, and in this project, I'm working with maybe about 10 artists, Welsh and also Iranians, Persian artists. Some of them are living in Iran. Some of them are living here, US, different parts of the world. 3 of them are poets. 2 of them are rappers. Because I just wanted to work with poets, and then I was like, but also this is this is poetry, rap is poetry, and I love those artists, like, why not? And I got in touch, and they are like really big, and in Instagram I just messaged them, and I didn't expect to get back to me, but they replied, and they were like really excited because they thought, oh, the project is really interesting. Like, great, so I'm working with my favorite artists, my favorite rappers, which is amazing. So yeah, two of them are rappers, and then I'm working with some dancers here, because dance also is part of the project. So they are mentoring me. For the literature part, I'm working with a writer. What else? Technical part, I'm working with Melissa Hinkins, who used to work with Artist Mundi. So yeah, it's a very quite big, but also collaborative project, which is great, because I don't like to work on myself. So yeah, the way the project at the moment works, I normally choose some poetry from the poets or those rappers, and then go to the space again, like starting from one corner and playing music, like loud music. I always take speakers with me. And yeah, just close the door and starting just like painting and dancing. For this space, they let me to paint the ceiling as well, which was amazing, because I was just like having this like big roller, and I was just like running and having the roller on the ceiling, just like making marks. And yeah, I finished this space about like 5 days, 6 days, but like, yeah, working intense. And for this space, I had a mentor. I had a painter who was mentoring me, and he suggested to stick my brush on top of a stick. So it's like, oh, that's another improvement, and it's more fun because now I can just like go back and make marks and seeing a whole from far, and that's better for making good composition, but also seeing the space and communicating with the space. So yeah, for this project, for this one, I decided to have some installation, and I work with like 10-meter roll of paper, like big papers, Fabriana. And I wanted the space to be very immersive. Like, I want people, when they walk in the space, they feel it, what I have been feeling and what I have been experiencing. You might not be able to read the poetry, but I like you to feel it, And also the dancing, like, I like it to be like very, alive and energetic and colorful. So yeah, and I'm also running some workshop during the project. All the exhibitions, we have like a whole day of workshops. The last one in Elysium was called an Iranian Cultural Day, and we had poetry reading at the first. We had dance workshop, movement workshop, and we might do a little bit at the end if you're up for that, some movements. So you would go home with learning new moves, Persian moves. And yeah, we had calligraphy, we had Persian calligraphy. We had even like Persian tea ceremony, because I think food is always part of the culture, and culture is my main interest. It might look like visual art, but to me it's a cultural project. It's about sharing, making bridges. Bridges are great, right? I always like to consider myself a bridge, because bridges are not biased. They don't belong to any lands. Opposite, the contrast with borders. Bridges are just in the middle, and they just connect people together, They don't make any separations. So yeah, it's more of a cultural, I think, project, and knowing that we have a lot of similarities rather than, differences. Like sometimes I'm just like doing this and someone from Turkey saying, oh, we have the same, we are doing this the same, or someone who is Welsh saying, like, oh, we have this tradition as well, and I'm like, oh, cool, let's talk about this, and then we are making connections there. I think that's the main point of this project, to just like connect people, sharing stories, bringing people together, and just like knowing that we are similar. So if you have more questions about the project, I can explain more. I can give you the dates of the next exhibition, and where is it, and the details. But I would rather to talk with you instead of just like me. So if you have any question, feel free. And
when and where is the Cardiff exhibition?
It's starting from 1st of September till mid-October. And it's in a place called FAC. It's a new place in Queen Street.
Cool. Okay. We'll put it on Instagram and stuff closer to the event as well.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Do you want to do some movements?
Yeah, absolutely.
If you're up for that. Do you want to stand up? So I'm gonna show you some moves, and then at the end maybe we can play a little bit of like Persian music, and just dance a little bit. So first, all of you, imagine you are Persian prince and princess, okay? And put your hands, imagine you have a golden crown, okay? Put your hands on your crown, okay? And then you have a Persian ring, like golden ring, okay? And you are looking at your ring, so move your hands as if like you're looking at your ring. And put your hands back, the other hands, okay? And when you want to bring it back, it's like move your wrists, okay? So you can go down. Okay, and going down, down. Go. Okay, so that's one move. So I'm just going to show you a few moves, and then we combine those and doing a little bit of dance. So the other move is making kind of like a raven, like bring your hands inside, okay, then go outside. And it's really good for your shoulders, right? You feel it? Okay. Okay. Another one is put your hands up, okay, and put your hands on your wrist, okay, and then just like going, or just like having these hands this side and going around. The other hands. Making some knots. So just like making knots and going up, and then you can come down. Okay. Yes. And making some waves. Like that's. Who's laughing at the back? And for the feet, so normally like you put one foot in front and then just like kind of jumping on the feet. Or are you Turkish?
No, I'm Iranian. Actually, and I never knew how to dance, so I'm learning.
Great. So yeah, and the hips, like most of the time, just like moving. It's not just like, locked in one place. It's like always like moving, and the wrist like moving and going around. And you open your shoulder. It's not just like this. It's the Iranian dance is mainly with like this like top area, instead of like it's not just like feet. It's hands and wrist and shoulder and shall we play a little bit of music and then dance together?
Does anyone need to sign any waivers? You've got a bad back or anything? Okay, just please don't sue us.